Death by Beard. On September 28, 1567, Hans Steininger, the mayor of Braunau am Inn, was rushing through town after a fire broke out. Known for his record-breaking beard, over 4 feet long, he usually kept it neatly rolled and tied. But in the panic, he forgot. As he fled down a staircase, his own beard tangled under his feet. Hans tripped, fell, broke his neck, and died. To this day, his preserved beard is displayed in the Braunau Museum, a hairy reminder of how pride can trip you up, literally.
The Flying Tailor. On the cold morning of February 4th, 1912, Parisian tailor Franz Reichelt climbed the Eiffel Tower wearing a parachute suit of his own design. He had convinced himself that his invention would allow a man to fly. Ignoring police warnings, he stepped off the first platform, over 180 feet above the ground. The parachute never opened. Reichelt plummeted to his death in front of cameras and reporters, becoming known forever as the Flying Tailor.
The lawyer who proved his case too well. On June 17, 1871, defense lawyer Clement Vallandigham was rehearsing a courtroom demonstration to prove his client's innocence in a murder case. He used a pistol identical to the one that killed the victim, not realizing it was still loaded. To show how the man could have accidentally shot himself, Vallandigham pulled the trigger. He succeeded in proving his theory and died from the same wound he was trying to explain. His client was acquitted. Thanks to the evidence Clement literally died to create.
The astronomer who refused to pee. On the night of October 24, 1601, famed astronomer Tycho Brahe attended a royal banquet in Prague. Out of etiquette, he refused to excuse himself to use the bathroom, something considered rude at noble tables. Hours later, his bladder burst from the pressure. He suffered an agony for over a week before dying. A man who mapped the stars, undone by basic plumbing.
Death by carrot juice. In February 1974, British health enthusiast Basil Brown decided to supercharge his body with vitamin A by drinking over 10 gallons of carrot juice in just 10 days. His skin turned orange, his liver failed, and he died from vitamin A poisoning. He proved that even healthy living can be deadly if you go overboard. Literally the first man to be killed by vegetables. The Unbreakable Window. On July 9, 1993, Toronto lawyer Gary Hoy was giving a building tour to a group of interns. To demonstrate the strength of the office's glass windows, he ran full speed into one, something he'd done before without a problem. The glass didn't break this time either, but it popped right out of the frame. Gary fell 24 stories to his death. His co-workers said he was always confident, right up until the end. The Cactus Killer. On February 19, 1982, David Grundman and a friend went into the Arizona desert for some target practice. David picked a 26-foot-tall saguaro cactus and blasted it with his shotgun. After a few shots, a massive arm of the cactus broke off and fell directly onto him, crushing him instantly. The desert doesn't take kindly to disrespect, and in this case, nature got its revenge.
The Barrel Daredevil. On January 20, 1985, Canadian stuntman Karel Susik set up a massive publicity stunt inside the Houston Astrodome. The plan? Drop 180 feet in a red barrel into a tank of water, proving he was the greatest daredevil alive. The crowd watched in awe as the barrel was released, but it started spinning, missed the tank's center, and slammed hard against the rim. Susick was pulled out alive, but badly crushed. He died later that day from internal injuries. He'd written on his barrel, "It's not whether you live or die, it's whether you try." Sadly, he proved both. The Wing-Walking Rapper. On October 20th, 2018, Canadian rapper and stunt performer John James McMurray was filming a music video with a small Cessna plane. The concept was wild. Walk along the wing while it was in flight. As cameras rolled, he climbed out, balancing perfectly against the wind. But the extra weight made the plane spiral downward. John held on as long as he could, but when he finally let go, there wasn't enough altitude to open his parachute. He fell to the ground and died on impact, all while the cameras kept running. Sometimes, chasing the perfect shot costs everything.
The Bridge Jumper. On March 10, 1996, veteran motorcycle stuntman Butch Laswell prepared to jump a 38-foot pedestrian bridge in front of a crowd. The weather was windy, but Butch refused to cancel, saying the show must go on. He accelerated down the ramp, lifted into the air, and a sudden gust pushed him off course. He missed the landing ramp completely, slamming onto the pavement below. Paramedics rushed in, but he died from massive internal injuries. Even legends can't negotiate with physics.